All right, we're walking through San Miguel de Allende in the, what area is this, Jody?
I believe particularly that way is the Guadiana Colonia. I've done
Gua-
house sitting up there.
So we're talking about the top five, I guess, house sitting destinations in Mexico. More like the top five house sitting meccas of Mexico. And because
Where
Jody,
you can get house sits.
where you can get house sits. And as we are walking through this, look at this gorgeous area here in San Miguel de Allende. It's called the Guardiana.
See, that's that all like up these streets and stuff.
Okay, so this is what a typical neighborhood looks like in San Miguel de Allende. We're actually in a very, very gorgeous neighborhood. As you can see, it looks pretty luxurious and everything's well manicured and there's cobblestone and it just looks...
The whole of San Miguel is cobblestone.
The whole of San Miguel. Ooh, which is another thing I wanted to talk about before we start talking, Jody, is footwear if you live in a place like Guanajuato or San Miguel. So right now I'm wearing my New Balance shoes.
Sketches for me.
Jody's wearing her Skechers, and I was wearing Vans and my Chucks because I love wearing Chucks, but on the cobblestone you feel it and it hurts. So my New Balance shoes are nicely padded, and just make sure you wear shoes that are padded and has good ankle protection, because you never know when you're filming or you're walking and talking and you take the wrong step. Have you ever known anyone to twist their ankle? Or?
I actually hurt my knee. Remember when I was dancing in Guanajuato with you and I hurt my knee, and the next day I had to come over here to do a house sit? I spent the whole time looking at the ground, walking around because my knee was busted. But it was a fun night. It was worthy of the injury.
Yeah, that was a fun night. Okay, sorry, let's get to the topic. The top five house sitting, like best places to get house sits in Mexico. That's a better title. The top five best locations to get house sits in Mexico. What would you say your number five would be, Jody? And while you talk, I'm just gonna pan. Look at this. Look at that entrance to, I don't even know if that's a house or a community of houses, but wow. All right, Jody,
So
number five.
You're looking at a countdown from 5
Yeah.
to number 1?
Yep.
All right. Definitely, I would say like there's multiple places. So you do see listings for Mexico City. They're generally shorter in Mexico City. I guess that kind of big city vibe is people don't take as much time off or time away. We've seen stuff in Oaxaca. So these are kind of the shorter sits, I guess you'd say. But where there are big groups of expats that maybe need to head back to their home country for medical issues or family events.
Expat homeowners.
Expat homeowners, yeah. They're the ones that will need the house sitters for a longer period of time. So we've found that maybe the Yucatan, Merida, you get quite a few house sits over there.
Is that number five or number four?
I'd put that as 4.
Okay, so
I'd say sort
first
of
is
number
Mexico's-
5 was sort of Mexico City or Oaxaca.
Okay, Mexico City or Oaxaca, and then the Yucatan.
The Yucatan, so Merida or even Progreso or some of the little beach places there.
And maybe what are some of the differences that, like, especially if you've been to them, like what are some like unique differences or the type of person that would thrive in those locations?
All right, you need to love hot humidity, hot weather and humidity if you're going to be doing the Yucatan in summer. And quite often,
So you need to love hot weather and humidity if you're gonna do the Yucatan.
in summer.
And as I show them the Rosewood Hotel here, okay? And then?
So yeah, a lot of the homeowners will go away through the hot period or the uncomfortable weather period. So therefore that's when most of the houses work. Now thankfully we were able to go over there at Christmas time in the winter.
Okay.
And we were swimming in the pool and going to the beach, and that suited us because we don't like hot weather all that much. So yeah, first thing is climate. What kind of climate? Just because you see a house sitting listing that says, 3 months or 6 months, you've got to look at where it is and then decide if you can handle it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going through the park here.
Okay.
Number three. Number three, I'd probably say would be Puerto Vallarta, and maybe either Puerto Vallarta or the Cabo, California Sur, Baja California Sur.
Yeah.
Cabo, Todos Santos, stuff in between.
Okay, so the beach areas.
But generally, Puerto Vallarta would be more opportunities. But again, look at your time of year.
Yeah.
Because most of the people that live there through the winter, and then they go home in the summer.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a house sit over there, we did a house sit in July. It was hot.
Yeah.
But in September, you couldn't pay me enough to go anywhere near there. Which brings me to a little topic. We don't get paid to house sit. We do it volunteering. But that's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other conversation.
Number two would be what used to be number one. It's called the Eternal Spring. So people that seek the non-changing weather.
Pause for a second.
Okay, we're going into Parque Benito Juarez.
We're going into Parque Benito Juarez and check out what's here. So it's a Sunday, so lots of people walking through, and you've got your stalls here to buy whatever your heart desires. Lots of artsy stuff goes on here. This reminds me of like a park in Mexico City. Yeah, well, in like La Condesa, Parque Mexico. Lots of trees, lots of this is what I love, is when the families come out and all play. And yeah, so this is Parque Benito Juarez.
But then we get the artists down here as well.
Oh, we get the artists. But in the meantime, let's continue with Jodie with Puerto Vallarta beach areas.
That was number three. So number two, and we're talking again, we call them Meccas, being where the most house sitting opportunities are available.
Yeah.
So this used to be number one. I think now that they've handed over the reins, because there's a lot of people who love the eternal spring climate of Ajic and Lake Chapala, which is just south of Guadalajara. So there's always lots of house sits there, and we did a house sit there in 2020 in lockdown.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be for 2 weeks, ended up for 2 months. Funny.
Oh wow.
But
where is it?
That was in San Juan Costala, just outside of Ajic.
Okay.
And
So
Lake
number
Chapala.
2 is Ajic.
Number 2 is Ajic, Lake Chapala.
Okay.
Number 1, I believe, and I could be wrong, if anyone does house sitting and you disagree with me, let me know. But I believe one of the biggest meccas is definitely right where we are now, San Miguel de Allende.
San Miguel, the number 1 hotspot for house sitters.
And it's
San Miguel.
only
And why
1
is that?
hour away from Guanajuato. But look at all
That's
this
right.
artwork as well.
Look how beautiful. Oh, no pictures, no pictures. All right. So that would be interesting. Why wouldn't
gonna
people
go up the
want
street up
pictures? So look at this. Look at this park. It just turns into a nice little mini jungle. I could see myself walking around here in the morning and having a nice cup of coffee somewhere. It's gorgeous. So to wrap it up, like, where would you suggest for someone who's never house sat before and they're just now seeing this as an opportunity to like taste the different parts of Mexico, taste how it lives, taste like get your feet wet
think we're gonna go this way.
okay, in living in Mexico and trying out the different spots. Where should they start?
Look, without blowing my own trumpet, I'm going to say start with the House Sitting Academy, the course that we put together. Because the problem is...
Oh, and we're going to put that link in the description. So they do have an academy. And if you watched my previous video on house sitting, where I interviewed them, they pretty much wrote the handbook on house sitting. And it's very, very relevant today. Even more now so than ever. So...
Well, the main thing is that house sitting can be quite competitive, and if you see a location that you really want to experience, you might not be the only person applying for it. So a lot of what's woven into what we share with people is how to put your best foot forward, how to market yourself. And then you've got the actual, being on the house sit, like the mindset that you require to be on that house sit. This is not a free vacation, it is a fair exchange. If you get free accommodation and quite often a beautiful car to drive, especially in cities like this, then your responsibility is to take care of the home and the pets, 80% of the time the pets. So you just need to know a few of these things, as well as what to do if things go wrong and all that. But ultimately, I believe that
There's
everybody...
a protocol, definitely a protocol.
But I believe that everybody is capable of house sitting, because you've probably already done something like this in your life, whether you've picked up the mail for neighbours or taken care of, you know, your cousin's cat for a weekend or something like that. But it is possible, and it's such a great way to experience different areas where you live like a local, not a tourist. So we would never have even have found San Miguel de Allende as our little vacation place that we come to from Guanajuato if we'd never found the house sit in Guanajuato back in 2017.
That's true.
So yeah, 2017 brought us to this location, to this state, to this beautiful part of Mexico, and it's all because of house sitting that even you found it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hope you guys give it a try if you're not ready to commit to a lease, or you're not ready to make a purchase somewhere, perhaps if you've never even been here or to Mexico in general. Don't be making purchases or committing to any rentals or anything like that until you actually know you want to stay here, because they do have contracts and they do uphold those contracts. Landlords will go after you if you break a contract. Have you had that experience? Because
no, we just know how to work it.
they do know how to work it.
We've got awesome landlords, and we've got
that's true.
Plenty of time to just say goodbye when we're ready.
I just know that the when signing up for these leases, it's like, oh, it's so official. But anyway, what are you going to show, Jodie?
We've got one more street to look at. It's called Instagram Street.
Oh, this is called Instagram Street.
It looks down at the Parroquia, which is the center of San Miguel de Allende.
Okay.
So the reason why this is the #1 kind of mecca is a lot of the Canadian, American, and even European expats that have come to live here in this city.
Yeah.
They do love taking in rescue animals.
Yeah.
And they do have to go back to their home countries. And they're already aware of house sitting.
Look at how gorgeous.
Sharon actually house sat just up on at the corner up there. It was just beautiful.
This is a very gorgeous street, very gorgeous neighborhood, and as Jodie just said, there are occasionally house sits in this area. So
yeah, and basically the reason we don't get as many house sits available in Guanajuato is because people just aren't aware of it as yet.
Yeah, I think so. So let me see.
I hope I've got the right street. Let me just check.
What do you guys think? Is San Miguel a contender in choosing a place to live? I don't know. We're gonna remain open. You know, like I said, and I've always said in my videos, Guanajuato is where my heart is, but my stomach sometimes and my appetite may belong to San Miguel, because this place has everywhere you want to eat. And since Jodie is not a local here, she took us down the wrong street. It's the next one. But we're gonna go ahead and end this video here. I hope you have some idea now of the differences in locations in Mexico where you can call home.
Or test the waters.
Yeah, to test the waters. Now that you know that house sitting is also a potential way to do that, I hope you got value from that. But anyway, we'll see you in the next video. We're gonna roam around this town for a few more hours and see what kind of adventure we can get ourselves into. We still have to look at Instagram Street, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.